Many new real estate agents say they want to make $100,000 a year. But when you ask them, okay, so what's your plan to make that happen? Most of them have no idea. And that is the problem. Because $100,000 in real estate sounds like a big, vague goal until you break it down into simple numbers. So I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer a $100,000 year in real estate, how many deals you may actually need in order to make that happen, and how many leads you need to be generating every week to give yourself a real shot at hitting that number. Now, quick disclaimer before we get into the math. This is not a guarantee. Real estate income depends on your market, your commission, your broker split, your expenses, your skill level, and how consistently you take action. But the point of this video is to help you stop thinking about income goals as wishful thinking and start turning them into a plan. So let's start with the first number, your average sales price. For this example, let's say the average home price in your market is $500,000. Next, let's say your commission side is 2.5%. So if you help a buyer purchase a $500,000 home, or you represent a seller on a $500,000 sale, 2.5% of that sales price would be $12,500. But that does not mean you personally take home the full $12,500. You still have to factor in your broker split. So for this example, let's say you are on a 60-40 split, meaning you keep 60% and your brokerage keeps 40%. 60% of $12,500 is $7,500. That means in this example, one closed transaction would generate about $7,500 in gross commission income to you before taxes and expenses. Now we can work backward. If your goal is $100,000 and each deal is worth about $7,500 to you, then $100,000 divided by $7,500 is 13.33. So realistically, you would need to close about 14 deals in 1 year to hit $100,000 in gross commission income. And this is where I want you to pause for a second. Because 14 deals in a year sounds very different from, I want to make $100,000. 14 deals means a little more than one closing per month. That still takes work. It still requires consistency, and it still requires lead generation, follow-up, market knowledge, and the ability to actually convert people into clients. But it is no longer vague. Now we have a number. So the next question is, how do you get 14 deals? This is where a lot of new agents make a huge mistake. They set an income goal, but they never translate that goal into lead generation activity. They say, I want to make 6 figures, but they are not asking, how many conversations do I need to have? How many people do I need to follow up with? How many warm leads do I need in my pipeline? So let's break that part down. A warm lead is someone who has shown some level of interest in buying or selling either now or in the future. This could be someone who came to your open house, someone who asked about the market, someone who downloaded your buyer guide, someone who reached out about a listing, or someone in your personal network who has told you they are thinking about making a move. Warm leads typically convert better than cold leads because there is already some kind of connection, intent, or some reason to be having that conversation. For this example, let's assume you need roughly 15 warm leads per closed transaction. So if you need 14 closings and you estimate that you need about 15 warm leads to create one closing, then 14 transactions times 15 leads equals 210 warm leads for the year. Now again, 210 leads may sound like a lot, but when you divide it by the year, it becomes much more manageable. 210 warm leads divided by 52 weeks is about 4 warm leads per week. That means your $100,000 goal is not really just a $100,000 goal. It is a 14-deal goal. And more specifically, it is a 4 warm leads per week goal. That is the number I want you thinking about. Because if you are a new agent and you are not generating 4 warm leads a week, you probably do not have a 6-figure problem. You have a pipeline problem. And once you understand that, your job becomes much clearer. Instead of waking up every day thinking, I need to make money, you wake up thinking, what am I doing this week to generate 4 warm leads? That could mean hosting an open house and having real conversations with unrepresented buyers. It could mean texting people in your personal network with something genuinely helpful, like a listing update in their neighborhood. Or maybe creating short educational content that answers common buyer and seller questions so you become a trusted resource for them. Or it could mean following up with past leads who went quiet. The exact strategy can vary, but the goal is the same. Create consistent conversations with people who may buy or sell either now or in the future. But your follow-up is equally as important as generating those leads, because not every potential buyer or seller is going to convert right away. So you always want new leads coming in, warm prospects you are consistently following up with, serious buyers who are getting pre-approved, and potential sellers who are just starting to think through their next steps. And of course, you also want active clients who are moving toward closing in the next few weeks. That mix is what creates a steady, predictable real estate business. Because if you only focus on the clients who are closing right now, you may have income in the short term, but no pipeline behind it. And once those transactions are done, you are back to starting from scratch. So the real goal is not just to get one deal. The goal is to keep enough people in your pipeline that you always have someone new to follow up with, someone getting closer to making a decision, and someone actively moving toward closing. That is what turns real estate from random transactions into an actual business. So after this video, I want you to look at your own numbers and ask yourself one simple question. What do I need to do this week to create more conversations and generate more leads? Because once you know the number, you can start to plan how to reach it, and your job gets a lot clearer. So then you are no longer just hoping for sales, you're building the pipeline that creates them. And be sure to check out this next video for more lead generation ideas to help you build your pipeline in less time.